Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Today I want to talk about ECOMI, the ticker symbols OMI, OMI. I talked about this video about 4 or 5 days ago. I was telling everyone we're in a parallel channel, a bear flag, we were just ranging upwards. Now we are starting to see some weekly candle closes below this bear flag, so do keep an eye out for this candle close. Our current weekly candle we're currently trading, that this candle will close in 5 days, 19 hours. Now, the very first level I'd be concerned about if we were to get a weekly candle close below 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, because these were your weekly candle closes here on these two candles back in November, and also these candles here around 1st of January. If we were to sweep that low, I do think there is a very high probability that we do come down and meet the technical price level of this bear flag. That's sitting at about 3.055. So if you just move this trend line up here to the weekly candle closes and you extend it to where we're currently breaking down out of the pattern right now, you're talking about, yeah, that 3.055 level. So we're talking about a 35% pullback here as we speak. So from when it broke down, when we made that last video, down to that level, yeah, about 36.5%, 35%. So it is currently showing some weakness here at the moment, but yeah, you definitely do not want to see it fall below 3.081. If we get a weekly candle close below that level for ECOMI, I do expect there's a higher probability that we do come down and meet that technical move all the way down to that bear flag to 3.055. However, if we do start getting candle closes above 1/10 of a cent, and if we push up to this downsloping trend line, you can see it acted as support back here in April of 2020, flipped into resistance, come into contact here in July, touched it again right before the FTX debacle, then it collapsed, and it's just been ranging, had a little quick pop back in the 20th of February, and now you are currently getting that pullback, and you are starting to get some weekly candles below this parallel upsloping channel or bear flag, because you had that bearish price action move into it, and now you're having this sideways chop. Now, I did say in the last video, there's nothing too exciting. It's been in this pattern for the last 126 days, so really no big moves here, because you are getting big moves in Bitcoin here at the moment, right? So Bitcoin's trading at $28,000 at the moment, but ECOMI is trading still at these lows. But now if we look at the Bitcoin dominance here real quick, you can see this here, this is the Bitcoin dominance. So this is comparing how much market share Bitcoin has compared to altcoins. Now, forget about these lines here. This is something else I have in my Bitcoin chart on my long-term Bitcoin charts. Now, here you can see we're in a downsloping channel. You can see it's been range bound. Now, the lows, we're talking about 39, 38, and then you've got the tops here sitting about 48, and it's just been range bound in between. If we zoom in here, you can see it's just been chopping in this pattern for many, we're talking about 600 plus days here. So from when we entered to where we are now, yes, 686 days. So really nothing too big's been happening here. But the thing is, we are currently starting to get a breakout here, as you can see. If we flip over to the daily time frame real quick, the Bitcoin dominance chart, it is very overextended. That's why I do expect a pullback for Bitcoin. Everyone's selling their altcoins in favor for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's had the biggest moves compared to relative altcoins here at the moment. So if we flip over to the 2-week time frame, I have this, I've drawn the RSIs right here, and I've got this trend line, and you can see it keeps touching it, right? It's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points. Now, if we do get a break below this level, I would expect altcoins are going to have a big run here. So, or not a big run like this one here when you had that head and shoulders pattern, it broke down into the pattern. But I would expect if we do get below this trend line, you will see some kind of altcoin run within the altcoins, probably potentially the top 100 altcoins. And I have this other trend line in here. It touched the tops back here in July, acted as resistance, flipped into support. It did wick below down to this bottom trend line, and it bounced off it, and now we are currently testing the upper of the end of the channel here. So for ECOMI, that's why you are getting this bearish price action. Lots of altcoins are currently getting pushed down, or they're not performing as well against Bitcoin. But yeah, anyway, guys, if there's anything you missed, I talked about all the price levels. Make sure you leave some comments below. What you guys think? Do you think ECOMI is going to hit those price levels that I said, or do you think it's going to go a lot higher? But long term, I do think NFTs are here to stay. I wouldn't mind having a dabble at that price level. If we do go down that price level, I probably will buy a small parcel to hold for the long term, because ECOMI is a relatively cheap token. You don't need much. You know, you don't need to put much money in, and you get lots of, you know, right now, if you want 1 million tokens, it's going to cost you about $842 US. That's relatively cheap in my opinion, but I do think we are going to have another pullback, around 35% drop from here. But anyway, guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the very next video. GameX out. Peace.